Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar. And this is the recap review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. This episode started out with Tiffany and her husband at the house, and she's a little bit anxious as to how her parents are going to react when they learn that she wants to try her best to find her biological father. She's actually tried to do that before, but her mother led her into the direction of someone who actually turned out to not be her father because a test had been done and it deemed that the DNA was not, there wasn't a match. Okay, so essentially her relationship with her mother became even more strained and pretty much non existent after that, which I think is trash because it's like that's your child. Like, how you gonna sit up here and be like, oh, now I don't want to really do with you like that no more? So, and it seems like all because of the non-connection that there is now because that man ended up not being her father. So anyway, she didn't invite the people who actually took her in, and she calls mom and dad, invite them over to the house, they outside, and they don't know why they're there. So they end up learning why they are there, and her mom was receptive and she understood, and apparently she always supports her daughter. And she ended up learning about who her father was, her real biological father, because she had always been told she had been Native American or had a Native American father. And even when she met him, it was kind of like, okay, Ann, I mean, that's my daddy, but I mean, whatever. And she acknowledged the other person who'd raised her as her actual father. Now, her father, who is there, that raised her, he feels some type of way. It's like he's not against her doing it, but he feels some type of way because in his mind, he's like, I understand that this is something that you feel like you need to do, but, you know, I just don't know if you're going to, not want to have anything to do with us anymore and not love us and all this other stuff. Like, he really was in his feelings. Like, I thought that man was going to cry when I tell y'all real fathers, real men. I was like, wait a minute. It made me want to tear up a little bit. Shoot. This man went all the way off. Like, he actually helped to create her. Like, I was like, yes, I know that's right. But they are being supportive of the process. And she is going to go to Utah, Alabama in order to try to find out some information. So then we end up getting to Marceau, Letitia, and Wanda. And they have gone to Bessemer, Alabama. I've already told y'all before I had an ex who was from Bessemer. This particular ex was someone who is ex-military. He was a Marine. And yeah, Bessemer, I've been there before. Ooh, child. Ooh, child. For any of y'all who have been within the last 15 to 20 years, which was, I guess, like the last time I went, I went in 2000 and the last time I was 2006, 2007, 2008. Between 2006 and 2008 was the last time I went because I was dating someone at that time who was, living there. So they ended up having, well, no, that's the Galleria. I think we ended up going because, like I told y'all, it's not that far, at least in my opinion, it's not that far from where one of my aunts lives, Fairfield and Birmingham and all that stuff. I have relatives that live all up and through and around there or whatever because they moved there. I don't understand why, because Birmingham does the absolute most. My aunt did not ever want to live in Birmingham because she knows that it does the most. And her neighborhood is awesome. It always has been awesome. We have visited her house since we were children in Fairfield, Alabama. And oh my gosh, she always made me feel like she was like super rich. But she was a state worker, and she just managed her money well. She was a single mom. She did everything she was supposed to do. It was everything. Her house is oh my gosh. But anyway, y'all. But yeah, Bessemer is, kind of like a little country town, at least to me. A little country town. Dollar General. Definitely past the Dollar General or two. Like, it ain't really nothing out there like that. Or at least it wasn't back then. But yeah, that's where they went. That's what Miss Wanda was. Miss Wanda said she drove 45 minutes from her house to the location that she had Marceau and Letitia meet her at. In order to show them the food truck. The food truck look a fool. It look a mess. It looked like it's needed work for the last 10, 15 years. I could look at it when Marceau opened up the hood of it to reveal that something was going on with the inside of it. She talking about it just need a battery, a brand new battery, and you could tell a lot more needs to be done. She was talking about it's been sitting for over a year because I'm pretty sure of COVID or whatever, but the inside need to be redone, the outside need to be done. It just really looked like she need to leave it on. It should have been left on the side of the road. It should have been left at the junkyard or somewhere else. I'm just saying, as someone who had a present father who had a job working for the state of Alabama as a mechanic, I could look at it myself and tell you that that's a no-go. This heifer talking about $40,000. For what? For what? That's not even a good used food truck. Just for me looking at it through the TV screen. And Tisha this entire time was like, oh, we need to support my mom. No, this is not going to be a loan. This is going to be us doing, it's going to be a gift from us. And so Marceau is just like, okay, so basically, is this going to be an investment for you? Because at this point, you're giving her this money. And I mean, we're very involved right now at the beginning stages of it. Like everything that has happened so far, we have been very involved. So you mean to tell me we're not going to be involved no more after you handed this money? I doubt it. And so Tisha trying to compare apples and oranges. So I said, well, you were trying to have a partnership with Martell. Okay, that actually would work though, because they really would make money and have made great money together because they were building homes and such. Her with this food truck can be a hit or miss simply because restaurants, brick and mortar restaurants, fail within the first, 5 years or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that statistic is still relevant, but I heard that over 15 years ago. These restaurants be failing something terrible. So just imagine the food truck. Like, everybody don't want all of what she putting on these potatoes and things. And I'm trying to understand, like, what are the prices going to be? Because she has all kinds of stuff, which I'll tell you about later on, that she putting on there. And they look good or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, anyway, there would be so much money that needs to be put into this vehicle. There was a man that was there who was going to be working on certain things inside of the truck. I don't even think this man was going to touch what was under the hood. And I'm just like, This man said it was going to take like $40,000 to fix it up or something. What he was doing or something, I don't forgot. Anyway, it was a ridiculous amount of money for that contraption. Like, no, leave it be. If y'all ain't going to get her a brand new truck or a gently used food truck, that is a waste of money. And I hate that I have to agree with Marceau on this, but it's literally like you just throwing the money out the window. At this point, just throw it out the window, because that's exactly what you're going to do if you hand her the money for that particular food truck. So anyway, Melody and Tiffany are on their way to Utah, Alabama. They're driving and talking and all of this. And so, apparently where they were going to head first, or, the main place they were going to head to was a school that, she heard that her mom might have attended. That school burnt down and everything that was within it, which were all the records and yearbooks and all that stuff. So they are going somewhere else, some news place or a magazine place or somewhere. Child, I forgot what it's called. But they're going there and see if they can look up upon some, things that can kind of help them to piece together the people who her mama might have been associated with. So before they even get there, they were talking. And so she talking about, look, I still want to have kids. And he talking about, I ain't got enough time for him. And so Melody off rip with the quickness told her, you better listen to him. You better listen to him. You better listen to what that man telling you. You ain't spending enough time with him now. You need to listen to him. You better get to spending more time with him. And so in her mind, she said, I'm giving him oral and I'm giving up this booty on the regular. I don't understand what more he wants from me. And I'm like, man, But she like, I need to take this contraceptive out and replace it or leave it out because we're gonna have this baby. But it's like, girl, if you ain't got time as it is, what is you talking about? So anyway, they done got to the place. I'm gonna see if I can see what it says on here, what it is, what it's called. Office manager, Greene County Democrat. So it's some office that has a lot of records. And so there was another school that was in that particular area that they found out about that a lot of people went to. Child, we ended up finding a lot of stuff about this. Now, I've heard of Utah. I think I've said before, I was like, Utah. But then when I saw it spelled on the screen, I was like, oh. Because initially I was like, UTAH. I was like, I ain't never heard no Utah, Alabama. But like I said, when I saw it on the screen, I said, oh, okay. But yeah. So they're at this place and they told them that they have a lot of different records of people who have been at certain places or whatever, and they have it binded, and it, like the way they have it preserved, pretty awesome. But it's like clippings from newspapers from way back then, but it has like racist stuff, and this was like late 60s, early 70s. It was like the 70s because she was born in hold on. Her mama was doing certain things around that time. Anyway, I thought she said that she was born in 87. Did she say she was born in 87? I think that's what she said. I hope that's what she said. Anyway, so they looking up stuff and they're trying to figure out what in the world going on. But a lot of women apparently in this particular area, this particular county, they were getting pregnant and they were trying to get rid of their babies. And a lot of people want to believe that Black people are the main ones out here on all of this public assistance, when in most cases it has been the white people. Just saying. And they just said it in this scenario as well. Because a lot of them were getting pregnant and they were trying to get rid of them and all that stuff. So this other guy came from out of nowhere. He was just sitting there. And so he, was trying to get background a little bit. And so he was like, well, if you are the product of a Black man and a white woman getting together, you know what I'm saying? Even at that time, there were people who would still try to lynch you for that. And they were taken aback and they were like, wait a minute. So at this point, she was like, oh, well, maybe that's why my mama went to Jefferson County to have me. Because as she got closer to her due date, they was trying to get her out of there. And that particular area that they're in right now, it became segregated. A lot of the white kids during that time, they were no longer going to the schools that were in that area, and the families were moving away, and it was taken over mainly by Black people. It was like 80% Black by that time. And it just was what it was. And so they was like, yeah, let's go on over here because these Black folks doing a lot with this, segregated, not segregating, integrating and all this stuff now. And so it was just a lot going on. And so they feel some type of way. And now they just don't know where to go from there. They walked outside of the building and they were just like, we need to, try to figure out some more stuff. And they see a man across the street and they go and they start asking him questions. And this man saw a picture of her mama at the time, what she looked like back then. He was like, oh, I used to know her. She used to come around the Black dudes all the time. She was basically one of those white women that live for Black men. And she had some other white friend that used to like Black dudes too. And when he met her, she was already pregnant. Now, this man just so happened to have grown up in this particular county. So he went to the schools and stuff in this area. So he knew her. And she was pregnant when she rolled up. And it wasn't as if it was a secret that she was pregnant. And, it just was what it was. So she is like, wow, this is a lot. And it's crazy that the first person that you walk up to just so happened to be somebody that went to school with your mama and actually remembered her. He was just like, I can't remember what the other woman's name was, but, I did go to school with her. Well, moving on from that, that's all the information they really got, unless they, went some other places and they ain't talk about it. So anyway, we'll come back to that later. Wanda is having somewhat of a tasting, and she's kind of trying to debut her potatoes and all this other stuff. So they had an event set up. The way she's gonna do it is it's gonna be her truck. Her son that goes by T-Man is going to be on the truck, and you know that's Letitia's brother, and one of her other cousins is gonna be on the truck, and she's gonna be tending to the money. I think the son is gonna cook / serve the people, and I guess Wanda gonna cook too and delegate, you know, responsibilities. She came over there, she had on her chef's hat and, you know, all the little stuff and all of that. Like, it looked nice. I ain't even gonna lie to you, it looked nice. And so it was what it was. So several family members came out the woodwork and they was congregating and, you know, fellowshipping and all of that. And, you know, she hadn't seen some of these people in a good little while. Then COVID, you know, that kind of messed up some things too. So tell me why the son, T-Man, that sat up here and rolled up on one of the other relatives that Letitia seems to be really cool with and told her that he had gotten some woman pregnant. And the woman was there at the function. So this boy barely is divorced and already got a woman, and he done knocked his heifer up. And in my mind, this entire time, when I'm seeing him, I'm saying, wait a minute, is he the child that already has kids that Wanda taking care of? Because she got like 2 or 3 grandkids that she has custody of that she takes care of. And I'm just like, please tell me that this is not going to be a third child that you about to throw on this woman. Like, I cannot. So then, when this happened, the girlfriend or whatever she is to him is upset about it. They go outside and they talking, and she was like, wasn't nobody supposed to know? I ain't know you was gonna tell her our business, and all this other stuff. So then when they go back inside, Tisha rolled up on him, was like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. And she could tell something was off with him. And in her mind, she sees him as her son, you know, her child. And so she could tell something was off. And so eventually he reveals that the heifer pregnant. So she like, what? Like, everybody tired at this point. And like I said to y'all, I'm trying to figure out if this is the one who already got kids that ain't taking care of them, pretty much, because Wanda has custody. Of all people, she got custody. So she was just like, look, you already know this is not it. Like, you ain't divorced. Like, this is messy. This is too much going on. You already halfway in divorce. You got one situation. You ain't even really fully closed out yet. Then you dealing with her, and she pregnant with your baby. That takes money, and you need to get this going. Like, you gotta have money. Like, it's just too much. And I'm just like, Lord, this too much. So then one of another relative of Letitia's, he's a cousin. He's an older cousin. I'm guessing it's one of Wanda's first cousins or second cousins or something like that, because he's older. He rolled up and he was loud the entire time. Marceau says that he is the male version of Wanda, and I see why he says that. So he rolled up and was like, I ain't no Dominican, I ain't no Minican, or whatever it is he said. It was like, I said minion. So he was like, I ain't none of whatever it is you said that I was. So everybody started rolling up. And so they started talking about how, you know, you over here cheating on Tisha. We saw that picture of you with your back turned in that hotel. So the brother T-Man gonna roll up talking about, oh, well, what you doing? What hotel was you in? And I'm like, Lord, please go somewhere and sit down. Like, sir, you need to focus on getting divorced. You need to help your mama get divorced. Why was the stepdaddy / the man who Wanda's married to there? I think that was the one. Like, what's the side piece there too? I just don't, it's just too much going on. I can't. So anyway, T-Man rolling up, talking about what hotel was you in. Then the other cousin to roll back up again. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so now all of a sudden Marceau has all this energy. And he was like, would y'all like to see my back? I can show y'all my back right now. And I'm like, oh, now you want to prove it to her folks because it's the whole room against you. Oh, okay. So like other cousins who were like younger, they were setting it off and was like, no, we ain't got time for that. And the same things I've been saying this entire time, they are saying, they're like, no, we don't care nothing about what you saying in this moment. What you need to do is when all of these rumors are coming out, you need to address it. Don't sit up here and say, oh, I ain't gonna say it, or you talking all around it. When somebody asks you a question, you say everything but answering the question. Like, you need to answer your wife. You need to give her that reassurance. And so Tisha's sitting back just like this. While everybody fighting her battles and saying everything as usual. But the thing is, don't nobody want to hear nothing else. We want to hear you say, yes, honey, these are rumors. I have done nothing. These are lies. But that's not what you do. You sit up there and say nothing. But then he gonna try to make the argument of, well, if I say something, then y'all gonna think I believe it. Basically, if I say something, I'm wrong. If I don't say something, I'm wrong. No matter what I say, y'all ain't gonna believe me. So it's like, what's the point? But anyway, it's a mess, and I'm tired. Yeah, but Bernard was doing a lot, as usual. And then, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. He just be doing a lot. I wonder if he has a wife. Because I think I would be exhausted. I would be so exhausted. Yeah, and then he basically was calling Marcel a control freak, but he says you're a freak control or something. He said some kind of way he said it, but he meant to say control freak. So then Miss Wanda came from out of nowhere telling everybody that the potatoes or something is almost done and all of this, and so that was Marcel's opportunity to put it in Dodge. Excuse me. So he was like, well, you can sit over there and talk to the wall if you want to, because you ain't going to be talking to me. So while everybody else was doing what they was doing, the son that came over to Miss Wanda, and she trying to act like she never heard this information before about a child. And so he was like, I did tell you. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I already told you this. So she was like, no, you told me it's a possibility that she might be pregnant. You never told me that she was pregnant. And then she gonna try to tell him, I already got 2 kids I'm taking care of. You better figure it out. I was like, girl, if they ain't got the money and she on this show getting her a little check or whatever, you gonna be giving the money because you're getting money from them and you get money from the show, apparently. So it is what it is. So then people sitting down eating their food. Oh, like I told y'all before, the potatoes look good or whatever. She had some that had shrimp. People who wanted to be in line for chicken. Somebody wanted shrimp. Somebody wanted like various types of meats and vegetables. And she was sauteing up like onions and I guess bell peppers and things like that to go along with it. They look good. It is what it is. I just wouldn't be supporting it. I wouldn't. Because of, me being a part of the alkaline lifestyle. Now, if it really was good and there was a taste test and I tasted it and I wasn't doing this alkaline stuff, that would be different. But, it is what it is. But I'm going to get a hell for her due. It looked like it might be all right. She put some like Baby Ray's or somebody's barbecue sauce on some of them. And I was like, woo, child. But anyway, yeah, I've had some amazing loaded baked potatoes that had Alfredo sauce on it and like all this other stuff. Alfredo sauce, broccoli, chicken, cheese, chives, and sour cream and all that other stuff. I know my ex's mama used to do stuff like that. It was delicious. So, I mean, I've had various types of loaded potatoes before and they've been good. So, I mean, to me, once you have one, you had them all, especially since I've had them, pretty much my whole life. So, anyway, it's not going that well because Bernard, the setup here, set it off again, the cousin. And, everybody wanted to know if he gonna, release them purse strings. Are you gonna pay for the truck? Are you gonna get one of the money for the truck? The food good. T-Man asking questions. He was like, we gotta get this thing rolling. We gotta get this thing going. I just don't be understanding why people just be looking at certain family members like, you owe me this and you a whole grown person. You grown. I don't be understanding. Everybody that's begging and pleading is grown. All of y'all are able-bodied human beings that could be out here working. But y'all are depending on Marcel and Letitia's money in order for this dream to come to light. I just can't. But anyway, that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all pray for me. Hopefully I won't have to work a 12-hour shift tomorrow. I don't trust them. It's just so much going on. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna be back one more again. I think just one more time for Love and Marriage DC. Until then, I will see y'all next time. Be safe out there. Stay cool. Bye.